नमस्ते। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जंगमं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानिनातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां ओम शांति शांति शांति। पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। I bow down to Guru, Paraguru, Paratpara Guru, Paramaguru, Paratpara Paramaguru, Parathar, Parameshthi Guru, Paramaguru. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. ओंकारं बिंदु संयुक्तं नित्यं ध्यायन्ति योगिनं कामदं मोक्षदं चैव। ओंकाराय नमो नमः। ओंकार सर्ववेदानां सारस्तत्त्वप्रकाशः न चत्समाधानं मुमुक्षूणां प्रकाशयते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। May the peace and the glory of God go to one and all across globe, everywhere. May the enlightenment ever evolve in all the human race. May the peace be going to one and all. I bow down to Guru, Paramaguru, Parameshthi Guru, Paratpara Guru, Paramaguru. Namaste. In my previous video, I was talking about the very aspects of astrology, the planetary movements, angas, pratyangas, upangas. And I was talking about they have that reference to dharma, artha, kamya, moksha aspect. Now, here is where one needs to understand this dharma, artha, kamya, moksha aspect needs to be understood from the viewpoint of Prakriti, or that one thing which more or less is represented by female or feminine form or woman when we talk from the earthly existence. And I was talking about the practical importance of giving respect to that Stri Tattva or Prakriti Tattva or womanhood. And that is the reason why today this women or Stree, so called, has that respect which one needs to understand. The point is, how do you understand this Prakriti Tattva? Yes, definitely, Purusha or masculine form has both the characteristics, both masculine and feminine characteristics. Likewise, feminine also has both masculine and feminine characteristics. Nevertheless, but still, this so-called verse, which constitutes universe, multiverse, and omniverse. Now, if we really see this Stree Tattva or this womanhood or this feminine form has all that extraordinary energy. Deep within. The reason is, when a child is born, due to that divine intercourse, divine sexual intercourse, that's where that energy of Mother Goddess directly comes to that zygote or the child, directly or indirectly. That is the reason why people say, without Shiva there is no Shakti, without Shakti there is no Shiva. Without Shiva there is no Shakti, without Shakti there is no Shiva. Both have the role. But predominantly, if you really see, this Prakriti Tattva plays a key role. Without Prakriti, there is nothing like, this Anu and Paramanu. Anu plus Paramanu does not happen. That Jivatman plus Paramatman, this Jiva which is there, which happens, this Jiva Tattva comes through the feminine form, which one needs to understand. How do you, this is where actually that so-called beauty or Saundarya aspect comes into picture, which one needs to understand. Prakriti becomes Vikriti when you cross certain boundaries of the Saundarya aspect. Saundarya aspect has those limitations. Because after speaking about the very aspect of about system of male and female counterparts, so-called sexual intercourse of two opposite gender, there has to be reason, right, for that sexual intercourse or that divine act happening. Okay? Why Natya Sutradhara or Natya Brahma had to create that feminine form. There is always this debate in Natya Shastra that, without heroine or without female character, the dance drama or the dramatization is half. No, that is not the reason there. There is a very much logical and spiritual reason behind this. Because this three tattva or this female counterpart has all those characteristic features which one needs to understand. So there has to be a reason for the same or the goal and aim, as I was talking about the attraction or that sparking aspect that creates the heat or that urja, so-called urja, or that feeling, sensual feeling of that beauty, that soundarya, or from both inside and outside. Now, here is the thing. Parvati Devi asks a question to Shiva or Purusha as to how do you define attraction or beauty as per the creation. This is where Natya Brahma or Natya Sutradhara explains. Purusha or Natya Sutradhara or Natya Brahma says as follows. I have donned various roles and characters during my course. Both in masculine form and feminine form, having Sura nature and Asura nature, Rakshasa Tattva or Rakshasa and that demonic nature as well as sattvic nature also there. Sorry about that. If we really see Rama and Sita, Sita is the very nature, very form that Shiva had taken to create that practical importance to show to the society or show to the human existence the very characteristic features of Prakriti or feminine form or the female form. On contrary, Rama, on the other hand, is being played by Rama's what you call transformation took place. Parvati Devi took the form of Rama in her acts as a role there. Think about it. It is a very highest level of understanding about Ramayana there. Which one needs to understand. So, likewise, Mohini, Satyabhama, Anasuya, Gargi, etc., to name a few. Though they are amshas of your existence and coexistence in this verse. Verse being as per earthly existence, universe, multiverse, and omniverse. Thus, he starts. Beauty or that outer look. Beauty is again divided into two parts. From inside and from outside. The external beauty which we are talking about does not stay, it is temporary, which is what he says. Those external looks, let's say like eyes, eyebrows, ears, lips, and face, they seem to be bright. And the angas, pratyangas, all will be beautiful. But what he says is, all will be beautiful when you are beautiful from inside. And that is the reason why he says, don't get carried away with the external beauty. This will not stay for a long time. Internal beauty stays for a long time. So, beauty or that outer look has always been very aspect for creating that attraction, and Prakriti, female, women, or Parvati Devi or Stri is benefactor for Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, Jati, Gati, and she or woman has these characteristics. Does that mean masculine form will not have this? They do have. But this is one extraordinary nature of Prakriti. What one needs to understand is Prakriti has that edge over that. The humble nature, patient, ever loving, ever sensitive, affectionate to one and all. She has all the powers deep within and from outside. From outside. Where does this, this humble nature, patient, ever loving, ever sensitive, affectionate kind of thing? It is on the left breast. She stores them. Prakriti stores them. Or female, or feminine form, and gives that nectar to this zygote or kid between 0 and 3 years, till the time this kid grows, which one needs to understand. This is where the practical importance of Stree Tattva or womanhood comes into picture. And on the right side of the breast, she stores all the positive energy source for knowing what is right and what is wrong, by giving that nectar like milk to this 0 to 3 years. This is the beauty of our Shastras, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the practical importance of Prakriti or feminine form, which one needs to understand. She will be ferocious too at times. The beauty's definition engulfs all these aspects. As I was speaking, it is not all about the, donning makeup and dressing that way to look beautiful and all. But these are the aspects of the beauty. Though it has to be natural, both from inside and outside. Though this holds good for both Prakriti and Purusha. For Prakriti specifically, she holds that energy. She is that one benefactor, ladies and gentlemen. Understand this. Here are the classification of beauty in its own self. How do you define this Saundarya or that beauty? One is sensual beauty, sensitized beauty, dharmic beauty, adharmic beauty, micro beauty, macro beauty. Now, do we really need to have this classification? Yes. Here is where our ecosystem, if we see so-called Prakriti, the beautification is all about having that factors and cofactors engulfing the Rajoguna, Tamoguna, Sattvaguna. The woman or Prakriti or female has the innate ability of carrying the carrying the very nature of giving birth to the child and nurturing the child with that purified milk that is consumed during the baby stages, and the two eyes of the Prakriti, two eyes of the feminine form representing the guardian aspect, always vigilant, filled with compassion, love, and affection, which is abundant. Not that Purusha does not have it, but then these characteristics, extraordinary quality of Stri Tattva or womanhood or female, which holds, and it carries all the pains, agonies, whatnot. Yet again, she makes sure that these are eliminated from her body on a regular basis to purify herself in the form of impure blood during the process of menopause, so-called periods, that period time, and refills her body again with pure blood and keeps the cycle moving on. This is the Prakriti Tattva, ladies and gentlemen. Though for the beauty of Prakriti or woman or female, this is a must. That 5 days period wherein that impure blood which get flushed out from the genitals, so this is the practical importance of that very activity, ladies and gentlemen. Now one may ask, how are you talking about that and you're talking about the beauty? See, this, as I was talking about the sensual beauty, sensitized beauty, dharmic beauty, adharmic beauty, and that saundarya from inside and outside at micro and macro level. See, for both Prakriti and Purusha, what happens is this body, so-called humanoid or this human existence, has always been vulnerable to various impurities at all levels. And what happens is this gets into the body. Think about it. So when I talk about this sensual beauty, why sensual beauty should be taken care of by Prakriti mainly is she needs to understand the definition of this sensual beauty and how to use this sensual beauty. It should not be misused at any given point of time, ladies and gentlemen. Specifically, this is for ladies, feminine form. You have to understand this Saundarya aspect from the sensual point of view, to use it reservedly. Try not to misuse it. Yes, you will have that sensual beauty, both from inside and outside. That does not mean you try to overdo that or overly, get exposed to that. In this world, everything that happens is temporary. At this point in time, if I am speaking, yes, at this point in time, it is true, correct. This Ramchandra is speaking about this concept. It is correct. The moment this gets to the next day, tomorrow, this time will become obsolete. So, this sensual beauty is all about taking the purified form of understanding that Saundarya aspect, purest form. You will have all kinds of Saundarya outside, but you need to take the purest form inside and develop that sensual beauty aspect there. That is the first thing. That is the very important and vital thing for the feminine form. Likewise for Purusha also, or masculine form. Don't try to overdo or don't try to, exploit this sensual form. Coming to the sensitized beauty. One knows that this is what is the beauty aspect of the Prakriti, and this sensitive form which I am talking about is all about exploring and trying not to encash on this sensitized aspect of the Saundarya of feminine form or Prakriti. And today, if you really see, that is a reason why most of us are suffering, specifically Purusha. Even Prakriti also, for that matter. Not understanding the limitations. You have to limit yourself. Draw that line. Draw that very aspect of the curve. And dharmic beauty and adharmic beauty. dharma, artha. This sensual beauty and the sensitized beauty comes under kama aspect. To understand the limitations of that kama, this dharmic and adharmic is where actually, if you are able to understand the definition of sensual beauty and sensitized beauty, or that saundarya aspect, of that prakriti tattva or stri tattva or womanhood or woman or female counterpart or male counterpart, there is nothing like it, which one needs to understand. Today, this is where actually we are not able to discriminate this. And that is a reason why we are taking the adharmic activities as the dharmic and dharmic as the adharmic. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very hard and harsh point, but it does make some sense. At a macro and micro level. Why micro and macro level? Because this prakriti tattva, if I am talking about, more or less, is represented by woman or feminine form or female form, which is again embodiment of Lalitambika or Parvati Devi, who is again the ruler of the words, which constitutes universe, multiverse and omniverse. She holds all the powers deep within, which one needs to understand. I know it's very hard, but this is where actually this was the reason why in Natya Shastra, the very aspect of Prakriti Tattva or that female characterization came into being. It's not about if female is there or if Stree is there, it adds some kind of beauty to the dramatization or dance form. Not that. It's all about the very aspect of understanding sensual beauty, sensitized beauty, dharmic beauty, adharmic beauty, and beauty at macro and micro level. However, again, here is where most of us are failing it. That is the reason why today we are seeing so many divorces. That is the reason why we are seeing so many separations. See, the very marriage act itself is all about the culmination of Prakriti and Purusha coming together. Unfortunately, for all bad reasons, we are not able to understand the very aspect of sensual beauty, sensitized beauty, dharmic beauty and adharmic. Now, having said this, one may say, as per astrology, if there is a Rahu Ketu's significance, or uh, uh, Pitrudosha or whatever doshas, yes, that impact also will be there. Nevertheless, it's not a denying fact, but still, those also can be nullified. One may ask, and one should ask, and it is a very important question one should be asking. If you are talking about beauty aspect in this six various forms, then why only Prakriti Tattva has that extra feature of having the beautification from outside? See, unless whether it is Purusha, whether it is humanoid, or whether it is human being or this human existence on this earthly existence, to get that attraction. See, if you are finding, let's say, like I see some river, okay, and it has all the beautiful hills filled with the trees and other flowers or whatever it is, kind of. I will definitely get attracted, right? So, which is more or less found in a very natural way, which one needs to understand. So, that is the reason why Stri Tattva or feminine form has that outer beautified aspect, outer beautification, for that attraction only, to that limit only. Try not to overdo that. And this is where that sensitized beauty comes into picture. How do you, understand those limitations? If and only if you understand the sensual beauty. Once you understand the sensual beauty and sensitized beauty, that's when you will be able to understand this dharmic and adharmic aspect of the beautification aspect of that Prakriti Tattva, or that feminine form, or that woman form, that Stri Tattva. And likewise, once you understand this, that's when you would be able to understand what's from the micro and macro level. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. The Saundarya aspect, if one talks about, it's a very big subject. It has its own vastness by and large. Shankaracharya really, defines this beauty in a very beautiful way in his Saundarya Lahari of Mother Goddess. We have to be thankful for him. Specifically, he explained that womanhood, that Stri Tattva, that utmost purified understanding about woman nature, Prakriti Tattva, which one needs to understand. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. Thus, I conclude this video with a positive note. Stay blessed and have a real blissful life. May the Guru's grace be with one and all. Have a nice day ahead. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ओम् सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु नारायणार्पणम् ललिता देव्यार्पण पितृदेवतार्पण प्रपितृदेवतार्पण सर्वदेवी देवतार्पणमस्तु ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम stay blessed and have a real blissful life. May the Guru's grace be with one and all life.